Yes, I'm muted. I'm back. Hello. Hello. What's up, Tazzy? Wildcat, what's up? Welcome to another Wednesday. Why do I have so many audios? We do NDI sources, so all my audios are up to stuff. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a whole bunch of those nobody wants. Everyone's playing around with Snap Camera at the moment. So, I think we're good. We get some chat from the team, so we make sure we've got audio from you guys. Good.
No. Yellow.
Right. So, another Wednesday at the Curse of Strahd. So, for those that are wanting to hang out and do see more D&D, obviously our Sunday campaign is finished. But, however, this coming Friday, on the 5th of March, the Auntie One will be streaming her Ice by a Peak campaign, which I will be playing in. So make sure you go check out her channel, make sure you're following her, because that'll be every Friday night, 5:30 Australian, 7:30 New Zealand. And this coming Sunday, the 7th of March, will be the mini campaign, which is the Sanctum mini campaign, which the Auntie is also DMing for us, but that'll be streamed on both channels. So definitely come and hang out with us this coming Friday and Sunday as we do some more D&D content. Once the Sanctum mini campaign is completed, we will be doing a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game as well. Kanos, aka Baz over here, will be our storyteller for that. So hopefully we'll be able to get that underway pretty soon after the end of the mini campaign. No guarantees, as we're still sort of in the throes of organising story and everything. So there'll be a couple of session zeros for that, because there's a lot to get through, a lot of prep stuff for that stuff. So we'll definitely doing that at some stage. After that, who knows? But anywho, Wednesday evening, we shall get into our recap from last week, where we saw our heroes back in jail again. But anywho, who are we missing? I can see a grey box where Drax's face should be.
That is Drax's roof. Emilia's roof.
Okay.
No, Drax is because he's a druid. He's transformed into a grey box.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fair.
He's
So
wandered off alone again.
yeah, Emilia's wandered off by herself and is staring into the sky, and that is the sky you see over Barovia. Very grey, overcast. So we'll just wait to see if... There she is. What's up, Tazzy? Everybody else, welcome. So, last we left off, we saw our heroes that once again found themselves incarcerated, but this time, however, not through the actions of the group, but as the direct result of a false accusation from Emilia. Eventually, though, after a night in the jail and a small mediation with the captain of the guard, you are released to deal with your issues as a group. Leaving the jail, an unarmored Emilia is semi-corralled by her party and led to the western gate of Vallaki. Once there, you exited the city and you head just out into the trees somewhat, and Kanos creates a friend test, shall we say, where Emilia was asked to kneel down and retrieve some coins from a stump. As she did so, Kanos raised his axe, preparing to strike. Fibble, reacting to this, heats the coins under Emilia's face, causing her to sit bolt upright. Kanos releases the axe, stopping it mere centimetres from where Emilia's head would have been. Not sure of his intentions. It was decided after a bit more discussion, and with Zedrill making it very, very clear where she stood in this whole situation, her anger and frustration coming to the surface. You decided that it was time to head to the Wizards and Wine Winery. You headed back through Vallaki to retrieve Emilia's items and armor and such. Once you got to the location of where her stuff was hidden, however, further discussion was had as Adok decided to rifle through her bag to remove items that she could potentially use against the party, disguise kit, etc., etc. Under a zone of truth, Emilia essentially comes clean and fills you guys in on her past. Again, a lot of backwards and forwards with the party, some not niceties thrown backwards and forwards between Adok and Emilia. Eventually, it was decided by the group, by way of the appointed leader, that she is to get her belongings back. Although she does voluntarily throw out the disguise kit before heading off. As you leave Vallaki from the eastern gate this time, heading towards the winery along the Old Slavich road, about an hour outside of Vallaki, you stumble across some robed individuals walking along the road. They seem suspicious in their nature, and eventually they stop and turn, and one of them speaks and tells you that Lord Strahd sends his regards, and a battle erupts. Emilia, for the first time, shifts into a bear form and joins the battle. Karnos, ripping through the cultists with a ferocity that's not really been seen at this in time in Barovia. Scathesis also taking down a few in spectacular fashion. Fibblestib finishes the final cultist with a firebolt to the chest, not unlike a large bullet ripping through his chest, leaving him dead with his companions. After searching the area for more potential foes and satisfied that you are now alone once more, apart from the wolves that can be heard in the forest beyond, you loot the bodies, take the scimitars from the bodies, leaving the rest. Emilia then, with her skills, covers the bodies in the side of the road, leaving very little trace of where they once were. This is now where we rejoin our party as they journey towards the winery. It is early afternoon. The day is overcast but not raining, but the mist still hangs thick in the trees in the Old Slavich road forest. You are gathered together somewhat loosely on the road, picking up the last remnants of the scimitars. You said you were wrapping them and setting them in such a way that they would be tied securely across the top of your pack, giving semblance of balance that Karnos requires. So I'll now turn it over to the party as you start to continue your journey towards the winery.
Where is Emilia? Is she in front or behind? Emilia, where are you?
I think you guys had decided that you would push her to the front and have her lead the group.
She was at the front at the start of when we met the people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to... how long is the trip, you think? Because I feel like over time, Zedrill would start to calm down a little bit.
You've been traveling for about an hour already, and you with looking at the map and the time frames that you sort of, with the travels you guys have made within Barovia, you can, with the skills that Karnos has and even yourself, you would probably ascertain you've got about a 4-hour journey before you will make the trek towards the winery. You've got the best part of the day left on the road.
You know, Emilia, I was to be married before I came to Barovia in Fandalin. I had the invitations and everything ready. But my Deva came and told me I had to do this and help other people. So I understand your need for love. Maybe when we go back to town, I will help you with your bucket list.
Emilia's just sort of going to bow slightly and say thank you. Obviously, still concerned about the anger that she's seen from Zedrill the last few hours. Just, thank you. I'm sorry for what I've put you through over the last few weeks. Week or two.
Yes. But maybe you should be worried about the rest of them and not me.
Your opinion is the only one that matters. I mean, I like them, but you're important. Sorry, you're more important to me than they are, is what I mean.
You know they can hear you. They're right here.
Hey, Adok, she's more important than you. You hear that?
I did,
Adok,
but I don't
she's
really
more
care what
important.
you think. At all, really. Tell you what, I am enjoying your money though. Thanks for that.
Well, you're actually not, because you gave it back. You were given 10 platinum to give it all back. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
So technically, you're enjoying our money, but it's fine. You've got money.
Either way, I got paid, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, I do not understand that. Why did we give him our money to... if I stole from one of your bags, do I get money?
I think we were all just trying to get him to give Emilia, Emma, Otto, Extra Mercobius her money back.
Yeah, the
Maybe
traitor.
we should call her Emmy.
Yeah, maybe
or the
not.
traitor.
Can I tell you a story, Adok? Just, I don't care if you don't believe me. I'm just going to
I don't
say
really
it
want to
anyway.
listen. I'm just going to keep walking ahead.
In the town next to where I live.
I like
where
stories.
I grew up. When people were caught stealing, they cut off their hands. So, next time you go through my bag, I'll cut off your hands. How about that then? It won't be killing you, but it will give you a good thing to think about. How about
You
that?
know, what is the penalty for lying? Is it the tongue that got cut out, I think? I'm not sure.
I don't know, I never tested that boundary in my town. I also know that they also cut people's fingers off for shooting people in the back in combat. So
You know, I'm not feeling you're sorry much anymore.
You know, where I come from, heroes take out beasts and demons. Enough said, eh?
I'll say this. When we first met Adok, he said don't trust anyone, especially don't trust me. So I'm not going to trust him because that's what he told us. So why would any of you trust him if he has come out of there and said not to trust him?
I don't trust him.
Yeah, I think trust is a two-way street. So he hasn't given me any reason to hate him any more than what I did to begin with. If anything, I actually like him a little more than when we met him on the road, and I would like to kill him a little less.
So he's earning your trust. So far he hasn't earned my trust at all. So I don't see a reason to trust him.
You need to earn the party's trust, Emilia. Not the other way around.
The point of being a party is we all have to earn each other's trust. Obviously, I haven't earned anyone's trust. But in general, he hasn't earned my trust either.
You betrayed our trust, Emilia.
You betrayed my trust. It was you who turned on me.
Okay, first and foremost, anyone who has lied to the party, put your hands up. Emilia, that's you. Put your hands up. Anybody? Oh, moving on. Anyone that's also tried to hurt someone or anyone, or turn into an animal on top of someone whilst we were carrying them, put your hands up. Oh,
So-
Emilia, that's you again.
Why don't you
I-
put your
oh,
hand
oh,
up?
oh.
I'm pretty sure somebody used a fireball that hit me in the back, and I'm pretty certain it wasn't Bibbleston.
Oh,
And I'm
you
pretty
wouldn't know that,
certain
would
it
you?
wasn't Scathesis who was standing right next to me. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Karnos who was standing right next to me. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Zedrill
Hang
that
on.
was standing right next to me. Who was that shot me in the back with a fireball?
Oh, I don't know. And Alex got talking about. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Oh, and by the way, I'm still talking. Moving on. Who else
I'm
in
sorry,
the
I'm not
party
listening to you.
has
Goodbye.
who has made incriminating evidence to put us away and potentially get us in more trouble with the guards? Raise your hand. Zedrill, put your hand down. That's not you. Emilia, it's you. Fibbles, it's not you either. No, it's not. What? No, it's.
Emily is about 10 foot away. She's not listening to a word you're saying.
I think I'd like to say I'm not normally the calmer head here, but I think this will get us nowhere. Ad hoc, I understand. She's been a dick, but right now we don't need to be dicks about. If everyone's dicks, then no one's happy, right?
It's just a bag full of dicks. We don't
Yeah.
want that.
No one wants just a sausage fest, right? All we need is to carry on and defeat the larger evil and prove ourselves as heroes, including. And he looks over at Emilia, including her. She can prove herself. You don't have to trust Ad hoc. I will keep an eye on your back if she is behind you.
Look, I don't have an issue. First and foremost, I was just walking, right? For some reason, Emily has got in a bonnet that she's got a problem with me. I don't know why. Scathers is actually, for once, he doesn't say a lot, but when he does, makes a lot of sense. You hear what he's saying? She has to earn our trust back. I'm just going, fact of the matter is, she's done 3 out of 4 things that are wrong. I can't remember what the 4th thing is. I'm pretty sure I said 4 things.
That's fine. It's good. I mean, I agree. I don't disagree at all. But we'll get us nowhere to bicker. Zedrill, how far is this? Mum, how long is it to go? Zedrill, how far do you think we have to go?
Are we there yet?
Yeah,
Are we there yet?
yeah,
Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Ramble, ramble, ramble. Let's just get there.
I'm assuming you're walking and talking.
Oh yeah.
I'm making that assumption. So as you continue the journey, generally bickering amongst yourselves most of the way, eventually I would assume that Emilia and Ad hoc just stop talking to each other altogether and just shoot each other scathing glances every now and again when the need arises. Eventually you come to a crossroads with a bridge. There's a small bridge leading over the river. And as you look on your map to sort of get your bearings, you know that this river leads to the lake north of Valakian and then heads back down and intersects with the other rivers that lead in towards Barovia, the village of Barovia. The crossroads is with branches to the northwest, the northeast, southeast, and the southwest. There is a sign in the corner of the crossroads. The lower half is still sitting at an odd angle, but the top half has been snapped off, and it's lying in the grass beside this post. As you approach and sort of look at the sign, again trying to get your bearings with the map and the signpost, easy enough to figure out which part of the signpost sort of points where with the way that it's broken. As you sort of hold up and look on the map, you got to the southwest is looks like it says Kresk, Krezk, and a place called Solenka Pass, which has a silent T in the front. The Tsolenka to the southwest. The northwest fork takes you to Lake Baratok. And the northeastern says Vallaki and Ravenloft. And then to the southeast is Berez. B-E-R-E-Z. Obviously, you are on the northeastern road, which has come from Vallaki and leads back towards Ravenloft. The northwestern branch of this crossroads climbs gently, becomes a dirt rail, a real dirt trail, sort of just as it hits the tree line. Where are we? And the main road heads towards the Lake Baratok, which is not the lake that you have been told where you will find your ingredients. This is a smaller lake on the map. But you got two options. Looking at the map, it looks like the northeastern to Lake Baratok will actually rejoin with the main Slavic road closer to where you need to go. So you can pretty much choose one or two paths here. You can take the main well-traveled road, or you can take the less traveled road which leads into a dirt trail in through the Slavich forest, heading towards the lake. So you've got an option here.
Alright, are we pressed for time? Do we want to go the shorter route, or do we want to go the well-tread longer route?
Are we there yet?
People?
Emilia, being at the front, will have stopped at the side and waited for the group to catch up.
Mr. Stibb, what's your tracking skills like? What do you think?
Are we there yet?
So, Zedrill, I get the feeling he wants to take the fastest path.
Yep. Oh, actually, I want to take the fastest path there so we can get this stupid wine thing sorted, so then I can go after my crystal.
That crystal, do you know where that is?
At the lake. Not this lake. Another lake, I think. Maybe.
Alright, well, that's one vote for the woods. I guess we take the woods, unless someone says other.
I don't mean to be, but is anyone else hearing those wolves?
I'm always hearing wolves.
Yeah, since we got here, like daily.
Yeah, but I mean, generally, if we're walking through a forest, you can't see things as well, and wolves might, come and eat us. Mainly me.
You want the piggyback?
Can't you make like a magic light?
No, I just don't want to get eaten by a wolf.
Zedrill, you could squash a wolf with your hammer, right?
Yes, and I can make light too, so...
And I can squash a wolf with my axe. I've done it many times.
Yeah, but what if there's too many wolves for you to squash with your hammer and cut with your axe, and they just keep coming, and there's like hordes, and they're everywhere, and it's going to be terrible.
I'm going to look through Adok's backpack, and as I'm doing that, I'm going to touch his shoulder and cast heroism for his bear. I'm going to pull out his bear.
What's the save on that again? Wisdom?
Okay. Where is it? It's just a touch spell, so it's just an action. There's touch concentration minute.
So there's no save for it?
No save,
okay.
no. He gets 5 temporary hit points, though.
Yep. The 5 temporary hit points, and you are brave, really, really brave for the next minute.
Yeah, as she was going through his pack before the spell went off, Carlos was like, well, if we get surrounded, it will be a glorious death. We will fight for our lives, and it will be awesome and heroic at the same time.
And you never know, the world might blow up tomorrow. Who cares? Let's move on, come on.
Oh, here's your bear. There you go.
Don't worry, Adok. I'll protect you.
You know what? I'm going to protect you. Well, not you, but everyone else, all right? I don't know why I was talking about wolves. Wolves don't matter. I'm going to kill them all. You watch. You're absolutely right, Fibbles. Well called in. Mr. Karnos. We gotta kill them all. Watch it. I'll take the lead.
You're gonna go in front of Emilia.
Best spell ever, Zedrill.
100%.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, someone's got to lead the pack. I just feel like I'm the person that will get us through to where we need to go. You're just gonna all put your faith in me.
You've probably got the strongest nose, so yes, we'll
So
go with you.
with saying that, Adok, can you roll me a d20, please? $13.
13.
Make a quick roll here as well in a second. You guys carry on. So you decided you're going to head to along the northern path?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
woods. Yeah,
Woods?
Through the
Okay.
woods.
short one.
And
So
Fat Kenny's gonna like try and strut ahead a little bit.
no worries. You strut ahead, being all brave for the next 60 seconds, and after about a minute, you hit you hit the dirt road which leads into the forest, and all of a sudden, Adok, you come to realization that you're out in front. You got your teddy bear, but you're out in front of the party. It's not getting dark. I mean, we're still looking sort of mid afternoon, but it is an overcast day. But the trees have started to close in. This path is narrowed, and the trees have gotten a little taller. So the canopy of the trees is a lot more closed in. Very claustrophobic feeling, in fact, especially for you, Adok, as you head into this more darker area. Like, it is getting darker, but it's because of the trees and the thickness of the trees. The mist is hanging thick all around from it feels like it's closing in from both sides. But you now realize that you're out in front.
Yes, I will immediately cling onto the bear tighter. I will slow down, but still trying to make it look like I'm very brave. Slowly, very slowly take a step forward and then be like, I'll be like, that's an interesting bit of route there. I'm just going to take a quick look at this whilst I'm waiting for everyone to catch up.
So I need... no, I don't. I need to roll something here. Quickly.
While the DM's doing that, Scathesis leads into Zedrill. I think it's not working anymore.
I'm going to cast my light cantrip, which lasts for an hour.
So with that, it does give you a certain amount of light. It gives you that bright light for 20 feet and then dim light. It's like super dark, but it's enough where it's kind of creepy. So the light does help. I need to roll this quickly. +2. Good for the time being. So you continue along your designated path. Can I get everyone to roll a perception check, please? Got there 13, 12, 18, 18, 12, 15. 0. With a natural 1. So Adok out in the front, you're even though your heroism is worn off, you as strolling ahead, you backed off a little bit, but you're still ahead and strolling upright with purpose. You notice nothing. All those with a 15 and higher in this situation. Oh, crack up. You hear a sound of something sniffing behind you and to your right.
Emilia, are you crying?
No, I'm good.
You hear that?
Yeah, I thought it was Emilia crying.
Oh, food's here.
So as who we got there? So Scathis, Zedrill, and Karnos. As you turn and sort of look around, sort of trying to determine where this sound's coming from. Initially, you think, "Shit, wolves," but then you see a more humanoid figure, sort of more of a shadow than the actual figure itself. And then it sort of steps out onto the side of the road. It's on all fours, sort of in a semi-crouched position. Long, spindly arm, like long, skinny arms, hunched over, pointed ears, eyes. You can sort of looking at it in its face. Its eyes and face are twisted, mouth twisted to one side, and almost a silent scream sort of look. Eyes are really sunken in and dark. Then its tongue snakes out of its head and possibly long licks out to one side and licks the road where you've just walked. Creepy looking thing. And then its head twitches to one side and looks in your direction. And you can see it sniffing at the air. Tongue flickers out again. And it twitches its head to one side and makes this horrible sort of inhaling screeching sound. And 3 more crash out of the trees and charge towards you guys. We will need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Have I noticed this, or am I still walking forward?
You would have all heard the curdling sort of screech that came from this creature. It would have been very audible and very loud. So we will get Karnos's initiative, please.
Just a lowly 7 for me.
7. Adok the Grey.
21.
21. Well done, Scathis.
I got 11.
11. Zedrill.
9.
9. Fibble. 6 from you, Fibble. And Emilia.
16.
16. So with that, we're just going to quickly music here. Get rid of the nicey nice music. Go over to more battle-y sounding music. So, as these creatures crash forward towards you, again you sort of spin on your heels as they make that horrible screeching sound, the first one, and then it's joined with the 3 others as they all in unison screech loudly, this horrible ear-piercing turn. These creatures bound towards you. You can see the remnants of what could be old blood caking their bottom part of their face and chest. They are wearing very little, but they are very animalistic in nature as they charge forward. And who was at the back? Because they've come from the back of the group. Adok was directly in the front.
Maybe Fibble?
So I would imagine maybe Karnos and
yeah.
Zedrill would have been closer to the front.
Oh, Karnos would have been near mid, yeah.
I would probably been taking up the rear, just keep our flanks safe, or trying to.
Okay, so I would imagine Adok and Emilia would have been the furthest apart, so Emilia would have been at the back there as well. Bibblesturb and Zedrill and kind of sort of mid, with Adok out in the front. So, Scathis, you would have probably been the first that these creatures reach as they get the initiative in this particular attack. They charge forward. As they get closer to you and indeed get into melee combat range, the first 2, you can smell of death upon them. They smell very, very bad. Their eyes are pins of blue in otherwise empty eye sockets. As the first one reaches out with a long, thin arm and just takes a swipe at you. So he attacks first. You, Scathis, he will get a 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
Alright, so he hits you with 7 points of slashing damage. You will need to make a Constitution saving throw as well, please. 15, you do succeed. As he slashes across your arm, as you sort of recoil from the charge, catches across the forearm, three slash wounds, and you notice the wound is just seeping a black ichor as well. Nothing really sort of starts to happen. It doesn't really hurt, but it just looks odd, and it definitely is something else on these creatures' claws. The second one will attack you as well with a 18 to hit as well. So you take another 7 points of slashing damage, and you'll need to make another Constitution saving throw as well, please.
11.
That is also a success. Once again, you notice the same black stuff, but doesn't seem to have any effect. With that, the other two surge past you, skirting around you, skirting down the side of the road, and come slide in towards you, Emilia. So these two will attack you also. So the first one with a natural 20. So that's a 22 to hit. So you'll take 14 points of slashing damage. And you'll need to make a Constitution saving throw. That is a failure. Your muscles, as you take the damage from this creature, as it slashes across your lower leg, sort of turn and go to move and step away, you find your muscles do not respond. And you are unable to move. You are now paralyzed. The second creature doesn't quite have enough movement to get into the next player, but sort of hangs back. Doesn't do anything, but hangs back waiting to strike at the next closest person. Next up in the initiative order is Adok. You turn, you hear the screech, and you turn, and as you turn, you see these creatures swarming the back of your group. You see the creature has lashed out and attacked Scathis and Emilia, and you see that the other one's sort of hanging off to a side, but you are approximately 15 to 20 feet from these creatures, from your position.
Great. So how close is the one at Emilia and the one off to the side that's 15, 20 feet away?
Yeah, they're about 5 to 10 feet apart. There's a bit of a gap.
Great, fantastic. Adok's gonna quickly open up his component pouch, reach out some like moldy rind from pork, and he's gonna throw it at the ground, and he's gonna mutter grata, and he's gonna cast grease in a 10-foot cube between the one that's 10 feet away and Emilia.
Okay.
So they should hopefully be in the grease range.
They should be. 10 foot, definitely it'll get both of them, and probably Emilia as well, but she's unable to move at the moment, so it doesn't really matter. Is there a save when you cast it, or is it just when they move through it?
It just says, when the grease appears, a creature standing in it must succeed on Dex throw or fall prone.
Okay, so it has to be moving through it. So at the moment, as you've cast grease, it is spread out under the feet of these two creatures, and are probably in and around Emilia at the moment as well. So a 10-foot cube around them is a patch of grease.
Right, fantastic. And then with the rest of that, he would like to turn around and highball it to the nearest shrubbery, dive in it, and use part of his racial feat, Nimble Escape, to use his bonus action to hide.
Roll stealth. As Adok just shoots into the bushes. Immediate left. Casts a grease and just vanishes into the bushes. So as far as you know, you are hidden.
Great. Fantastic. That's it.
Emilia, would be your turn. You can, at the end of this turn, make your saved Constitution save again. You can't do anything, but you can make the save to see if you can shake this effect.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just do that then.
Yep.
So it's 19 minus 1, isn't it?
It is daytime, yes. So you will still manage to shake off the effects. You do lose your turn in this fashion at this particular moment, but you are now able to move again.
Sweet. I'm just gonna sit there, I guess.
You can get a free action. So if you wanted to say something, you can. But that's about all you'll be able to do.
No, that's fine.
Scathis, it is now your turn. You are face to face with two of these creatures. Zedrill, you're on board after that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do unarmed strike against the first one that hit me
Okay. Strike away, sir.
with a 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 7 damage.
7 points of bludgeoning damage as you strike the first of these creatures.
Second attack, 21 to hit
That hits.
with a 9 damage.
9 damage. Nice. Good damage. This creature take you straight jab with the first, catch it right in the jaw, and the first thing you notice is how cold and squishy the skin is as you strike it. Really creepy to have just that coldness to the skin, and doesn't really phase you much, and you round with a right cross just to add insult to injury, and you feel that jaw as it snaps and hangs to one side. The creature sort of twitches as you hit it, and then twitches back and looks up at you, and down, still squat on all fours almost, and just looks up at you and hisses. Very creepy looking. Is that your turn, Scathis?
Yeah, that's it.
Zedrill, you're up. Karnos, you're on board. So Zedrill, you're about 15 feet from the closest creature.
I'm like, get up to the closest creature and
You would have seen the oil spread. So the closest creatures to you would be the two in the oil that are spread out across the ground.
Is there any way to stand outside of the oil and still hit them? Or no?
You would have to use a ranged. You'd be 10 feet away. You'd have to use a ranged. If you were to go into it, you'd have to make a dex save to remain on your feet.
I am going to cast Moonbeam.
Okay.
Which is a con save.
Con save. So they got a modifier of 0. So let's roll this. 14.
That is a failure.
That's a failure. No problem.
It gets 10 radiant.
10 radiant damage. This creature, and it cries out. It doesn't really cry. It just screeches that same high pitch. Yeah! As it hits, the moonbeam strikes it. And it immediately head twitches and looks directly at you. So that sideways glance, just really creepy, twitchy movements.
And I'm gonna move in closer, like 10 feet away. So I'm not in the oil,
Yep.
but they're not going to attack anyone except me, hopefully. So
No problem.
that's it.
That is it for you. Karnos, you're on board. Roughly same distance from you, 10 or 15 feet. To the closest one,
Karnos.
which is in the oil.
Okay, Karnos, being the tactician, using his free action, will say, okay, everyone, don't let them surround you. Tag team up against them, I think. And he will move to one out of the oil that has been damaged, if possible.
You have enough movement to get to flank with Scathis, move around through the group and move to where Scathis is, who has 2 in front of him.
Cool, and I will make my first attack against what I would deem to be the one that looks damaged, and
Yep.
I'm aiming for it's down on its hands and knees, you say?
They're sort of hunched over, yeah. So they're, you know how if you were to run on all fours like an animal, you'd you're up on your feet, but you're on your hands as well. So they're very squat and low.
Okay, sweet. So I'm two-handed. I'm not using my shield again. I'm two-handed swinging over the top. I want to get the spine behind the neck as I swing over.
Go for it.
Trying to sever the spine. Oh no.
Roll a 10. That will be a miss. As
Right.
you bring that overhand strike down, the creature anticipates your attack and just sidesteps to one side, almost like a spider, sort of scooting to one side as you go to swat it. And it very quick, and then it twitches its head and looks up at you and hisses at you.
As it moves, I double back, swing around again. Same place, hopefully. Oh, 2 in a row.
10, another miss. The same
right.
thing. As you reposition yourself and re-go for that same strike, it just moves again and sort of gets down low, and the tongue sort of snakes out and licks your boots and comes back into its mouth, and it sort of twitches its head up at you again.
That's it for Karnos. 2 big swings, 2 big misses.
That's it for Karnos. Next up is a Fibblestib, last in the initiative order.
Using Charlotte to shoot one of them.
You'd probably go for the any one of them. So we'll say pick a target closest to Scathis or closest to Emilia.
Closest to Emilia.
Okay, fire
So
away.
25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Uh,
Report of the rifle.
10 points of piercing damage.
10 points of piercing damage as a large chunk of skin and flesh is taken as the round strikes your target. That it for Fibblestib.
And that is it.
So again, as you strike it, it sort of twitches its head and peers a sort of half pie around Emilia towards you. And then it raises its head, screeches once again, and 2 more crash out of the trees from what was in front of you, but now as you've all turned to face these, have come in from behind you. Back to the top of the order as the first one, the 2 by you, Scathis, now make their attacks. First one. A 9. I believe that will miss.
Yeah, need 13 or higher.
The second at you as well. An 18 to hit. Take another 7 points of slashing damage as he slashes out with his claws. You'll need to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
19 con.
Again, you manage to fight off the effects of whatever this creature is hitting you with. The third one in front of you, Emilia, stays with you, strikes out once again with a 13 to hit.
It's a hit.
That's a hit. So 7 points of slashing damage to you as well, and another Constitution saving throw, please. That is a save. You're good. The creature that was
7 points of damage.
7, yes. The creature was in. Do they when they're in the grease they have to make the save, or just when they move?
When they start their turn.
Okay.
If they end it, and yeah.
Okay, so dex save from that first one. It's a 16.
Yeah, my dex save is 14.
Okay, so that's a save. So he remains on his feet. The second goes to move and head towards Fibblestib with a 17 on the dex save. So he remains okay and starts moving towards you, Fibblestib. He will get to you in his movement and make one attack with a 7. So that'll miss. The other 2 that have crashed in from behind head towards Karnos and Zedrill respectively, making an attack against each. First one, you Zedrill, natural 20 with a 22. So that'll be 14 points of slashing damage, and you'll need to make a Constitution saving throw, please. That is a success. 10 is what you need, so you're good there. Again, you notice the black ichor, sticky ichor that seems to be left behind when they strike out with their claws. Doesn't seem to have any effect on you at this point, though. And Karnos, the final one, striking out at you with a 14.
It misses, but as a reaction, since it missed me, I can riposte.
You can.
So I'm going to use my riposte, which is, and I have to roll an attack as well as a riposte dice. So that is, what is that? I can't see it.
14. That will hit.
14. Well, okay, that's good. I don't need the extra, but I will roll it anyway for the fun of it. That would have been added to it with my extra die.
So 19 definitely hits.
And I'm going to make that riposte with my big axe incoming. I get to re-roll 2 1s and 2s because of heavy weapon master.
Cool,
there
cool.
we go.
So
14 slashing damage.
14 slashing damage. Well done. As you take a swipe from this creature, and it stripes across your armor, across the bottom of your sort of thigh area, and as it does, you spin, axe coming around with you, and you catch it across the chest, opening up a large wound just on its upper chest. With that, Adok, we're back with you. You are hiding in your bush. You can see from your position where you cast the grease, and you've heard and seen these other two come in and charge in from another angle, straight into Zedrill and Karnos. You are approximately 25 feet from the nearest enemy from your position.
Right, fantastic. So is there 4 in total? That's
6 in total now.
6 in total. All right. I'm gonna peer out from the bush, just dig my nails deep to draw a droplet of blood.
Yep.
I'm gonna look at the ones closest to Zedrill and Scathesis. So Zedrill and Karnos,
Yep.
the 2 there. And there was one next to Fibble as well.
Yes.
And there was another one, wasn't there, somewhere next to Scathesis?
Pretty much, they're all, like, as Karnos said, don't let them surround you. Pretty much that's what they're doing. They've now enclosed you in, they've enclosed the group in a sort of a loose circle.
I'm gonna cast Bane at 2nd level.
Yep.
And you just hear from the bush, you just hear Brookletia as I cast on the 2 that's next to Zedrill and Karnos, one next to Fibble, and there's another one, I think, wherever Emilia isn't.
That'll be there'll be 2 by Scathis as well, so.
Okay, fantastic.
What's the range on
the
that?
Other one next to Scathis. So it's 30 feet.
Yeah, you'd be able to get the 4.
Yeah. Okay, great. Fantastic. Yeah. So they need to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma save.
DC of 12.
Charisma is a -2, so 15 on the first one. That's the first one. Second is a 0. So 1 fail so far, 1 success. Another fail. And the final one is also a fail. So 1 succeed. The one by Zedrill succeeds. 1 by Karnos and Fibblestib and Scathis fail.
Great, fantastic. So anytime they need to make a saving throw or make an attack, they need to roll a d4 and subtract it from it.
Okay, cool. I'll make note of that.
And and then I will again duck back into the bushes. If my cover's exposed, I will like to try and move to somewhere else and use my bonus.
You feel like you're still fairly well hidden at this point.
Okay, great. And yeah, that's it.
So that is your turn, Emilia. It is now your turn. You are no longer paralyzed. You are standing in a bit of grease, so you will have to make a dexterity saving throw at the start of your turn to see if you remain standing. But you have one target in front of you.
Standing, am I?
You are standing.
Okay, sweet. I thought it was prone.
Nope, not yet.
Is she within 10 feet of me?
I'd say you'd be fairly well grouped up. So if you are within 10 feet, you get a +5 on the saving throw.
Okay, so 15 then.
So that will be a success, I believe, Adok, on the grease. Yep. So you remain standing.
Okay, so Scathis is next to me, isn't he?
Within
relevant.
10, yeah, everyone's within 10 feet of where you currently are. You've got a creature directly in front of you in melee combat with you.
And there's one in front of Scathis, is there?
Yes.
Are we in the middle of the road?
Pretty much. Maybe off to one side a little bit.
What's the road made out of?
It's all dirt. It is all a dirt road.
I'm gonna use mold earth. I'm gonna draw a 5-foot square out from below the person that's directly in front of me, and drop it on the one that's directly in front of Scathis.
So you're going to remove the dirt from under the one in front of you, 5 feet of cube of dirt?
Yep.
And drop it on the one in front of Scathis. Okay,
Directly
so
on
you're going
top
to
of the
need
one
to
in front of
make a dex save for the one in front of you. And needs leads to minus a d4. Actually, no, he doesn't. That wasn't the one that was baned. So that's an 18. So he remains standing. He is in a 5-foot hole, however. But he has remained standing. He hasn't taken any damage or any gone prone. I will roll. What's the range on Mold Earth?
30 feet.
So I would imagine you would drop it from its maximum height.
Oh, I'd try to.
And it's loose dirt. How are we going to do this?
At least, I think it would give it at least difficult terrain. I don't know what else.
Yeah, I'm just going to try it. Just want to see if we make a couple of dex saves here. So the creature will make a dex save to avoid being laid prone with the amount of dirt, which fails. So the creature is knocked prone. Scathis, you'll also need to make this dex save as well, please. But you do get a +5 to your save because you are within 10 feet of Zedrill. 26. You are fine. You get pelted with gravel and dirt, but you manage to remain on your feet. This creature is knocked prone in front of you. The area, I don't know, 5-foot square. Yeah, I'd say it'd probably be difficult terrain to move through that 5-foot sort of area in front of Scathis now. So, Scathis, that would affect you also.
I figured they'd be up to their shins in dirt, so...
Yeah, pretty much. This creature's probably buried, partially buried. Not enough that it's going to pin it down there, but it is prone and sort of partially covered in dirt. Is that your turn, Emilia?
Am I able to try and move out of the oil?
You can. You will. You've made your dex save, so you'll be able to move out of it, but you will take an attack of opportunity as you move away from this creature.
Except for he's in a hole now.
He still gets the attack of opportunity.
Okay.
You're still moving away.
Okay, so what do I need to do for that?
So you're gonna move away?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and back into the group.
Okay, so he will make an attack because long arms reaches out and tries to attack you, grab your feet, attack you as you run away. With a 16 to hit.
That's it.
He will take another 7 points of slashing damage, and you'll need to make another con save.
Does that +5 bonus include that as well?
Con save, yes. You will add +5 to it, dude. So it's -1, so 13, so it'll be 18. So, yep. So that's another save. You're fine. I mean, DC's 10 anyway. You would have saved regardless. So you move out of the grease, keeping your footing, take an attack from this creature, but doesn't seem to manage to poison you or make you paralyzed or anything, but you do take the damage as you step towards the center of the group, out of its range. Next up is Scathis. Zedrill, you're on board after that. So Scathis, you have a creature in front of you that's partially buried in dirt and prone. So you'll get advantage on this attack as a melee attacker.
Is it looking hurt or...?
It's looking pretty hurt. It's looking pretty bloody.
Alright. Yeah, unarmed strike.
Strike away.
21 to hit.
That hits.
9 bludgeoning.
9 bludgeoning damage as you strike downward at your prone opponent, and you position yourself and just come down with a straight fist straight into its chest, and you hear those ribs just shatter under the impact, and you hear that sort of death rattle as this creature takes its last breath and is now unmoving.
How many is left?
You have 5 left in the battlefield currently. The closest one to you now is probably to your immediate right, between you and Karnos.
Alright, I'll use 1 key point to invoke Fangs of the Fire Snake.
Okie dokie.
So instead of bludgeoning damage, it'll be fire damage.
Okay. Roll to hit.
20 to hit.
That hits.
And with that, can I spend an extra key point to deal an extra 1d10?
Sure.
So that's the first one. So that's 7 fire damage and...
Scathis is an increase.
That's so 7 fire and 5 fire.
So 7, that's enough to, again, set this creature alight and kill it as it breathes in, it sucks in the flames and eventually starts to, you can hear the crackling, the popping of skin as the flesh starts to burn and bubble. Eventually it, again, unmoving, lying in the road. With that, that is now your turn over. You do have movement left if you are willing. You have a creature to your left, which is in grease. Actually, not longer in grease, it's in a pit, a 5-foot deep pit. To your left, about 15 feet. As you turn around and have a look, you can see another 2 on the opposite side of Zedrill and Karnos. Again, about 10 or 15 feet from you.
So my turn?
If that is Scathis up, yep, is your turn.
Okay. I'm going to hit the one that's closest to me.
Yep.
I'm going to do Divine Smite. Is it a fiend?
You would know it is undead.
Okay.
It definitely looks undead. I mean,
so 13.
that hits.
Oh, good. That's gonna be that plus 2, 3. I'm just looking at my Divine Smite. Yep. 12 plus 17.
Whoo! Zedrill summons her divine energy. He watches the hammer start. That radiant energy comes from down her arm, down her forearm, into her hand, igniting the warhammer in a radiant glow. As she releases the energy with the striking down on the shoulder and collarbone of this creature, the energy releases, shattering it into several pieces. Bits of rotten flesh and bone scatter as this creature is obliterated with a single strike.
That's a mess. All right, and I would try it again for my second action with Divine Smite. 16.
I don't think you can use it twice, can you?
Yeah, as long as it takes up a spell slot.
Spell slot?
So,
Sweet.
yeah.
No problem.
So 14.
So you move into the one next to Karnos.
Yeah. And 5 plus... Oh no, that's 11 plus 10, so 21
That hits.
damage.
Oh,
No, that's the damage, yeah. That's,
14 to hit. That definitely hits,
yeah.
yep. So 21, again, that Divine Smite, extra damage, just obliterates this creature and sends it back to where it came from. Leaving one alive, which is the one in the pit, the little hole in the ground.
Alright, I will move as close as I can to it, and that will be me.
No problem. Karnos, that is now your turn. Looking around, scanning the battlefield, fallen enemies surrounding you, the last one in this, scrambling in this 5-foot hole.
Yep. I would have seen what Zedrill just did.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You would have been covered. You would have been covered in what Zanriel just did. So. There definitely would have been remnants around the place.
Carlos is like, this has been a glorious day. This is our second batch of fighting, and he just runs, avoiding the grease, but jumps into the 5-foot hole. And he's just going to strike down on top of it with his double axe.
I'd give you. I was going to give you advantage. You don't need it. So natural 20. Don't even roll the damage, dude. Just explain how Karnos. The thing only had 8 hit points left, so the damage is kind of mute.
Damn it! I was gonna hit, and then the second hit I was gonna lay into it with my fist after seeing what Scathesis did. Nonetheless, that's what I'll do.
All I'm seeing is Carlos with his 2 axes. Boom, 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 boom.
He's got 1 axe. It's a 2-handed axe. I'm sort of picturing a 300 style leap with a 2-handed axe.
yeah, straight into the hole, and same thing. I just want to take its back out, and then as I lodge the axe into it, and I just let go of the axe, and with my hands, I'm just pummeling into its weird zombie crawling corpse. As just, it's great. It's glorious.
It is glorious and messy. It is glorious and messy as Karnos dispatches the final foe, and we leave the initiative order.
I have a feeling Carlos is trying to keep up Scathesis here.
I'd like to at the end of that, if I can, tear its head off and hold it up out of the hole. Can I give that an attempt?
Yeah. Make a strength check with advantage. I mean, it's a ghoul, so it's not overly strong, and it is very much undead. So
yeah, 23 for the highest one.
Easily enough done.
So I sort of grip its head, I pull it out and off, and I hold it up because I'm not much taller than this hole. Like I'm only like 5'6". So
yeah, you see a hand. You see it, sort of his head and the hand come up with this undead, the creature's head, still kind of dripping, blackened. What should be blood, but it's very dark and rotting.
And Karnos is like, I don't think I've ever seen one of these before, and as the final kill, I get to name it. I call it the Crombie, because it was a crawling zombie. And he drops the head out and tries to climb out of the hole with his axe.
Yeah, you get out of that. You get out of it all right.
As he's holding up the head, Emilia will use mold earth and basically bring the ground that Karnos is standing on up to the surface.
Oh, me.
Well done. So, nicely done.
Rising that platform sort of...
And it looks really epic too. I mean, you just feel the earth move under your feet and you start to rise out of this hole, holding this severed head of this ghoul.
That's awesome. That's like Kiss. Sorry, Cam.
And as you survey the carnage around you, you notice. I need everyone to roll a perception check just quickly, except for Adok, who's in the bushes.
I think I'd be sort of busy with the skull in my hands as well, probably.
I'm disgusted by the mess within that one.
I'm trying to wipe all this gunk off.
Oh god, your rolls, guys. All the rolls you got during this battle, now you're rolling low. So none of you notice that Adok's not there. Adok, what are you doing? You're still hiding in the bushes. After what you see, from your position, you would see Zedrill just obliterate these two creatures, and then Karnos leap into the air and destroy this final creature, and raising its head in victory as he rises slowly out of the ground.
I'm just gonna pop out from the bushes, with clinging onto the bear as tightly as I can, and go, right, so I feel like we should probably take the other path back that way. This was a good adventure though. Right, I'm just gonna keep walking. I'm gonna start walking backwards.
Start walking back towards the road, the main road?
Yeah.
Does anyone say or do anything?
Dog, we are halfway through. I mean, we don't know what the other road
We're
has.
going this way, Adok, not that way. We've just been that way.
Could be double the wolves and stuff there.
Karnos holds the head he's still holding. He says, and look, we could beat up some more Crombies and keep a trophy for you.
You get that thing away from me. What the fuck is that?
It's a Crombie. That's what we're calling these things, crawling zombies. Mr. Stibb, Charlotte was so noisy during that. It was epic. I am impressed.
Yes.
You're not happy?
Can we go now?
We can go. Do you want... I don't need this. And he lifts the thing on the ground.
Karnos, I need you to make a
like
dex save for me too, just quickly. Be a +5 still. Because you are standing in the middle of a grease pile right now.
People just lit a firebolt.
Oh, who's in the grease?
You are.
Oh, I am.
You're standing in the middle of it.
Oh, I thought I was raised up by Emilia.
Yeah, but the grease is all around you right now.
Oh, mint.
So you'll need to make a dex save.
Oh, in that case, I'll make a dex save.
You get the +5 still because Zedrill's still within 10 feet. So
Okay, so 16.
yeah, I think you're okay. So you managed to stay on your feet and probably avoid and avoid the damage.
I turned to Zedrill. Is this something to do with the bull?
A little bit. It happens.
Mr. Stibb, I'm sorry, I wasn't taking the mickey out of your missed shots. I was actually saying I really enjoyed the cracking thunderous sound of your Charlotte. I apologise, I didn't mean anything by it.
I didn't miss. And I didn't miss the grease either. It's just no point having grease here and we walking back and trip over it. Now we know it's gone. So let's go.
Excellent. Lead the way. Please don't burn my feet.
Don't stand in the grease.
I'm going to remember that next time you're standing in the corpse of an enemy.
No, I don't stand in corpses of enemies. I kill enemies from afar.
Oh, that's where you're making your biggest mistake then.
What? If I stand in the corpse of an enemy, I'll disappear.
That's why you miss.
What?
I didn't see any enemies fall down to the Charlotte. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I only hit one. I only
Yeah.
get one shot.
Oh, that's a shame, eh?
Don't worry. I've got plans.
Can you make Charlotte a repeating? And we're walking and talking now, right?
Are
It
you?
is repeat. I want to make it. I want to make it semi-automatic.
Yeah. Yeah, semi. What the hell does that mean?
Well, it fires more than once.
Oh, that would be good if you could fire it more than once.
Actually, if I could make it a quad barrel, I'd be really happy.
Oh, a quad barrel. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get
How-
4 shots at once.
I was going to say how many barrels is that? Yeah. Oh, I
4.
mean, that's yeah. I mean, I got it. That was my next question, but lovely, excellent device.
Yes. Or a cannon. Cannon would be good.
Oh, I thought Adok had a pet cannon.
Yeah, but
Adok,
Where's Zadok?
He jumped out of he's jumped out of the bushes and said that he's going back the other way and started walking back towards the main road.
Yeah.
I think everyone sort of said, no, we're going this way. So Adok either going to carry on towards the main road on your own, or you're going to stick with your group.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't have got far. I would have noticed that no one's following, walked the other direction, turned around and ran back to catch up with him.
Yep. Full of heroism, this one.
And about there, before we carry on, we're going to take a short break. Pee break, food, water, wine, whatever you're having. But we'll be right back after a short break. See you soon. And I'm back. What's up, chat? Hope everyone is doing great this evening. Alright, so we had an early dad joke just before. I had to read this one out. I bought shoes from a drug dealer once. I don't know what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day. Ba-dum-tsh. Oh. The other way, it's a bit bright. So, chat, we are doing exceptionally well this evening with our Curse of Strahd. Looks like a team has managed to get themselves through another battle with some of Strahd's minions. Without too much, I mean, Emilia took a little bit of damage. I'm not sure what hit points she was down to, but it was pretty nasty.
Down to half.
Down to half? Not bad. Yeah, because I don't really look at your guys' hit points, so probably should. Actually, no, because then I'll just attack whichever person I think the creatures will attack, regardless of the hit point level. No, it's not a single heal was put out during that particular battle either.
I was thinking about it, but then I wanted to do my cantrippy stuff. So
Hey, at the end of the day, if it works, man.
then somebody went full-blown kiss, so...
As you do.
Hey, that was me.
Yes, and it was amazing.
Comboed with you.
It was well done.
Emilia's use of those fucking cantrips, eh?
Well, I've never seen any.
It irritates me that I haven't thought of it.
I know. What's the thing? In all the years I've been playing D&D and dealing with things like Mold Earth and Shape Water, I've never ever had anyone use cantrips like that, or those particular cantrips in that fashion. It's cool.
I was thinking, shit, if you drop all that dirt from 30 feet, geez, that's a fair whack of... I mean, okay, it's just dirt, but...
It's 5 foot cube of dirt, but that's still...
Yeah. Annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can watch videos. People have worked out the mathematics for like simple cantrips and how they can do a shit ton of damage for that very reason.
Yeah.
I think there's a cantrip about shape water. Like if you're under the ocean and because of the pressure of the water, if you move just a 5 foot cube and create space under there, then release it. Like the amount of water that crashes on top of you is just...
Oh, realistically, yeah. I mean, that pressure would be just crazy.
Wonder...
It's like, if you see the videos where they throw a grenade into a swimming pool or something,
Yeah.
the amount of pressure just from that pushing outwards,
Nice.
it's like, it's fucking insane.
You could be like Magneto, right, and pull... He pulls metal from like inside people's bodies and stuff. You could pull the water out from inside someone. Okay, 5 foot, but so that's a fair whack of water from inside someone.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite how the shape water works, but
in real life, I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean,
game.
I
looked
mean,
into that, and it sort of says that it can't do damage.
Target a
yeah.
person.
It can't make contact with a person.
Can't do direct harm. Yeah.
They
would definitely have thought about that.
Yeah, they're very specific about the cantrips and what they can and can't do. And I mean, I think even we're probably pushing the boundaries of the cantrips a little bit, but fuck it, it's flavor, man. I like the way that Drax is using cantrips. So
I don't think it's too bad because you're not saying, oh, you drop it from 30 feet, it's doing what's 66 damage. You're not saying something silly outrageous like that.
Yeah, I mean, I could have had added 3d6 damage on top of that, but I thought, well, it's just dirt. I mean, it's not like it was a solid clump of dirt. It was dirt. So I thought, well, definitely going to knock him prone. Definitely going to be a deck save. Definitely going to be partially buried. It's still, I mean, it works. So
good DM's discretion, I think. I think that worked perfectly.
I mean, I probably could have added a single d6 of damage potentially as well. for that amount of earth being dropped on top of someone. Because I mean, you look at, as an example, I think it was, who was it? It was a magician that did the whole David Blaine did the whole buried alive thing, and the amount of weight in 5 foot cube of dirt is actually there's quite a lot of dirt there if you compact it and put it in one over top of something. There's a fair amount of weight there. So, but I think that worked out very well how we did it. So I'm happy with that.
It did. And once you put a creature prone, its advantage hits anyway, so straight away they're at the disadvantage. And
considering you guys are a fairly melee heavy group, realistically, even though like Zedrill has ability for spells, I mean, Scathis doesn't really have anything ranged apart from a couple of the abilities that he has as a monk.
The only thing that I can do ranged would be the Fist of Unbroken Air and Water Whip. They give me 30 foot, and the Fire Snake increases my range by 10 foot.
Yeah. That's not too bad, I guess.
If Karnos drinks all of his drinks, he can do a power chuck.
Be pretty acidic, so I might do some acid damage. Like one acid damage or something.
No, I have these axes and daggers, but only when I need to.
Just waiting on Zedrill to return. What's up, Magic?
He liked my power chuck, I'm sure of it. That's what that LOL's for.
Definitely. Power chuck acid damage was what it was for. So, we will get back into our story as you guys continue your journey after completing this particular battle encounter. You continue along this less travelled path, small dirt road or dirt track. It's not even really a road, not wide enough to be a road. For the next hour or so, you continue heading, following the map. You eventually come to a small fork in the road. It sort of heads off to more a northeasterly direction from where you're travelling. You see a small sign, sort of partially hidden in the bushes, just says Lake Baratok. You can as you look up the road, you can see this sort of the shores of the lake, and in the distance you can see a tower standing on, looks like on almost like a little island, not in the center of the lake, but just off the shores of the lake. Looks like there's a small sort of earthen bridge or an eddieway that leads to this tower that's off in the distance. But you also, as you sort of look forward, you can see off in the distance where this dirt road looks like it cuts back into a more well-used road, which is pretty much where you guys are heading. So up to you what you wish to do.
What do you think, team?
Well, Mr. Stibb, you were heading this way, right? Yeah, well, we all heading this way for the winery.
Yes, we're going to the winery and to the lake. The lake. We need to go to the lake.
Haddock, you wouldn't happen to have a tune to direct us which way we should go, would you?
Well, let me have a look. Start scrolling through the bard book. See if there's like anything to help with directions, a spell or something.
roll investigation.
You
search through your
just
book.
Have a compass, don't you?
Yes.
You can't seem to find anything.
Not at the moment, but I could try and play like a little friendly tune to help us the time if you want.
Time. But do you have something that will make the time go faster, which means we'll move quicker through the forest?
Oh yeah, that's right. We're in a forest. No, I don't. Actually, we should probably not make any noise at all in this.
What? Now you don't want to get through the forest faster?
No, I just don't want whatever happened before to happen again. So, and your rifle makes a lot of noise.
What's the chance of it happening again, Adok? We've already defeated this crowd, and there's not going to be anything for miles.
And I think they were chasing down our scent more than our noise.
I like them Crombies, though. They were a good fun little battle.
They're not Crombies.
I defeated the final one in the battle. I had not seen it before, therefore it is a Crombie. When you defeat the final one in the battle and we don't know what it is, you get to name it. Hear that, everyone? That's the rule.
So if we defeat you in a battle, we can name you?
Well, if you don't know what I am, yeah, but you know what I am, I think.
We have an idea, but we're not sure until we do an autopsy.
That's a good call. However, the hero rules stand.
The what?
The rules of heroes. When you slay a beast, or if there is multiple of, if you are the one who slays the last of said beasts, you get to name it. If it's unnamed, obviously if it's a goblin, we know it's a fucking goblin. We don't have to name it. But if you do not know what it is,
how do you know someone else hasn't already slain it and named it?
Well, they may have, but I have not yet heard of it. Do you guys know what that thing was?
Roll
zombie dog?
roll intelligence. You wish to determine whether you have any idea what the creature that you've just defeated is. Adok knows what it is.
24.
Fiddlestib, yeah, you'd probably know what it is too. Zedrill should know what it is, but doesn't. Zedrill, you know what it is, but your mind's a bit hazy. Your mind's on other things. Emilia, you definitely don't know what it is. Did Scathesis roll? Did Scathesis, you might have an idea, possibly.
What am I rolling?
Intelligence. It's a straight intelligence check.
Straight? Yeah, it's going to be well. Yeah, okay. 12.
You're not sure. But Fiddlestib and Adok, yeah, you've heard about undead creatures. You know what? You all know that it's undead. I mean, obviously you struck a lot of undead creatures in Barovia already. Seems to be the theme of the land of Barovia. But Fiddlestib and Adok specifically, you've seen these before. Bit of PTSD triggered here with your time in Barovia. And you know it as a ghoul. And Fiddlestib, you've probably read about them, and you haven't really seen pictures, but the description seems to be familiar to a ghoul more than a zombie. You're muted. Okay.
I'm just gonna lean to Fibble. Do you want to tell him what it is, or should I? No, it's up to you.
Well, no, we'll let him have the bone. Make him, let him think that he's killed the very first one ever, even though it's just a simple ghoul. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any way to make that a gun of yours quieter by chance?
I have plans.
Great. Good. Cool.
I can show you them.
Yes. Absolutely.
I pull out all these parchments, and there's like just a big stack of paper, and I start going through it, trying to find.
I'm assuming you guys are still standing at this crossroad, looking at the tower, looking at the road, deciding which way you're going to go while this is happening.
I would assume so.
Oh, I thought we were walking towards the tower. My bad.
Well, there was no decision made yet, so
you're not wrong.
I want to go to the tower, I think, so I'm going to start walking.
You're going to head towards the tower.
I shall follow close behind.
And I'll be third.
I think me and Adok at the back still going through paperwork.
Just going muttering about, yeah, but if you get a thinner barrel, what happens is you can't do as many shots, because then the barrel heats up, and then you've got a chance of actually melting it and damaging the weapon. Do you understand?
If I go a thinner barrel, I won't be able to get the normal bullet down the drain. So
no, like it's like holes in it and stuff. Like you don't need to make the barrel smaller, just like the sheets of metal, like thickness.
I don't need a compressor. I don't need a compensator. I need a silencer. Compensator, make it louder. And also, Although a compensator would be good. Should we put a compensator after the silencer?
What if we wrap it in fur?
It would overheat, and then the fur would catch light, and wolves would be attracted to the smell of burning fur.
So we need to find non-flammable fur.
Well, there is this stuff called asbestos, but it's a little bit bad for you. But it would do a great job.
Great. Well, we just need to find some asbestos, asbestos, or whatever you said it was.
Yeah, asbestos. No, I don't think it's here. It's in the human realm. They're weird like that. They like to use this stuff and that hurts you. I don't get it.
So you guys realize that while you're chatting away with your plans and that the rest of the party have headed northeast towards this tower. You guys are currently standing at the crossroads by yourself. The rest of the group is about 40 or 50 feet up this trail.
Start running.
Yeah. Yeah.
Karnos would like to, as we're walking towards this tower, just quickly catch Emilia, assuming she's sort of the last of the group that are currently with us.
Yeah, she would be still back, I'd imagine.
How'd you fare up through there, Emilia? You alright? You're not damaged?
A bit hurt. I should probably heal myself, but I'm still getting over your heroic kill of that last guy. That's just... I've never seen anything like it, to be honest.
We were working reasonably well as a team, and I must say the raising of the dirt under my feet as I held up the skull was quite a presentation.
Oh yeah, that just came off so well. If only I put a spin on it, it would have just been perfect.
It's yeah, tough to do with, shapes. Nonetheless, well done. And he looks behind to see how close Adok and Philster are getting. He says, "Look, I like Adok, and he means well. I know you don't like him. I know I didn't like him to begin with either, but he's actually all right. I don't hate you, if you're wondering. It's all good. People make mistakes. Everyone shits on everyone sometime or another, right? At the end of the day, I appreciate what you did during that battle. You didn't let us down, and you haven't let us down for the most part. Keep it up, and you'll earn that respect back, all right?"
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that.
But I do recommend, just when he winds you up, don't retort back with things that everyone else has done, because when ladies do that, it drives me insane. You can't drag up the past all the time. It doesn't, let him have his banter, and then be done with it. Okay, just be like, all right, sweet as mate, agree to disagree, and I can sort of maybe defend you then.
Sweet as it's being that I'm a ginger, I sort of have a fiery nature, you could say.
I understand that. Lovely red hair it is too. Absolutely. Anyway, we'll keep on walking. And Karnos carries back on behind Zedrill.
And by about that time, the others would have caught up somewhat. So as you approach, it takes you about 10 or 15 minutes to get to the edge of the lake. And what you see is sort of it looks like almost like a mountain lake. It's the area around it is enclosed by rocky bluffs. The thick fog that creeps around the edges of the dark still waters towards the end of around sort of the trees. There's a grass-covered causeway that stretches about 100 yards across the lake to a flat marshy island with a stone tower standing in the centre of it. The tower looks old and decrepit. Looks like it's got collapsing scaffolds clinging to one side. There's a large gash has been split in the wall. It looks like a big crack in one side of it. The time-worn griffin statues, their wings and flanks covered with moss, perch atop the buttresses that support the walls. Parked near the base of this tower is a barrel-topped wagon covered in dirt and mud.
I want to go see this wagon.
Yeah, it's a lone wagon. Could be a trap. Do we have any trap skills? Zedrill, do you like finding traps?
I'm gonna use my divine sense. Do I see any beings of the nature that I know of?
The beings of the nature you know of.
That I know of. A dead fiend and celestial.
Apart from Emilia,
I'm going to go up to it and poke it with the handle of my hammer.
Okay. As you get close to this wagon, under the layers of mud, the wagon sports a fresh coat of purple paint. Its wheels have fancy gold trim, a brass lantern hangs from each corner. Red drapes cover a tombstone-shaped window on each side. Steel padlock secures the door, hanging from which is a cheap wooden sign that says "Keep Out!" exclamation point.
Is there a door to this? I'm gonna knock on it. The where the padlock is.
Miss Zedrill, do you know how to read?
Hello.
Never mind.
Carlos gives back.
Well, technically we're not going in, so the sign doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
So you get no response.
Are the windows boarded up or sealed or something? It was tombstone.
No, it's tight windows. They are covered by curtains on the side, and they're pulled, so you can't see.
You tap on the window. Nothing.
Again, no response.
I mean, if you want to get someone's attention, and Carlos looks at Adok and he says, you could just light it on fire and they'll soon come out.
No. Maybe they
why
parked here
they-
in the tower.
Pick the lock on the door.
Well, they might be in the tower or something. We don't do.
Well, go to the tower then.
You're very crabby today.
Um,
What is up your butt?
I want my stone.
What?
I want my stone.
It is not your stone. It is a stone in a lake somewhere.
It's my stone. It's my stone. I need my stone.
You're acting like a dwarf.
Yeah, I can see that.
Adok, I can see you're chomping at the bit. What were you going to say?
Sorry, I was just going to say that as they were talking, if I could, Adok would like to start drawing runic symbols in the dirt and start to ritual cast detect magic.
Okay, so you take 10 minutes to concentrate, mark out your sigils, and as the spell ignites, see Adok's eyes flash over blue for a second, and as you look around, Adok, the whole wagon radiates an aura of conjuration magic.
Okay, so, yeah, that is been conjured, that wagon. It hasn't been made by human hands, from what I can tell.
Conjuration is what? Abjuration.
Conjure it. Let's say, I pull a bit of matter from here, pull a bit of matter from this space. Let's say I shape water or something. Let's say Emilia wants to cast water. We don't have enough, so I know that water is H2O, which is 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen. So then I pull those matter together. I put them together, make that the right element thing. I conjure it. I pull it out of nowhere, and water appears. That's conjuration. So someone's able to just pull that wagon out of nowhere. Am I making sense?
Colonel scratches his head and just starts pacing round and round the wagon.
So is it not real?
No, it's a fibble. Can you explain this so that I can understand?
It's real, but it's not from here. Someone's pulled it from somewhere else.
Well, I can see that there's mud all over it.
Yeah, wow.
Good answer.
That is awesome.
I'm not an idiot.
It's like some of the parts to your shield. I use conjuration magic to actually conjure the metals together, and the same thing. Just bigger scale. Impressive.
Yeah, like the work is really good. I mean, it looks great, but what I'm more afraid about and wondering is that if someone can do this, and if there's this magic there, then that means probably there's more magic. If they can conjure this, then they've probably done something else to it. So, don't pick the lock in short, don't open it, could explode.
Like going to the tower.
Didn't you say pick the lock?
Yeah, but then she said that they're probably in the tower, so I said let's go to the tower.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to investigate for footprints in the dirt or anything, since...
Roll investigation.
Yeah.
As she's investigating, Carlos will sort of follow her and go,
Zedrill, was there anything in the card reading? I can't remember. My memory is shocking. Is there anything in the card reading about a tower?
Carlos is distracting me, so I cannot investigate with a 7.
Good call.
I will have to look. I have a paper in my pack, and I'm going to look in my pack while I find it.
So, as far as the card reading is concerned...
Sorry for distracting you, Zedrill. I see you were busy then.
because she must have given me a bit of a dirty look, I swear.
Yep, totally. As you find your notes on the card reading and go through them, you remember there's a lonely mill on the precipice, which you discovered was the mill. There was something that talked about the thing you seek lies with the dead under mountains of gold coins. Another one, see a kneeling woman, rose of great beauty plucked too soon. The master of the marsh knows of whom I speak. Seek the brother of the devil's bride, which you have figured out is Mark. And the final one was the cards can't see where evil lurks. So no mention of a tower.
And I don't think we are in the marsh, so no, I don't think this is unless it has gold inside it. Maybe
Okay.
we should look in the tower.
I guess I've had a few readings from
We
Crazy
could do
Woman.
with gold. Gold.
If we
True.
say it a little bit louder that there may be gold in there, we might get Adok to go and venture in there.
Yeah, the
There
tower.
might
Let's
be
go to the
gold
tower.
in that tower.
There might be gold in the tower. Let's go to the tower.
Did
Yeah.
someone say gold?
Tower.
Maybe in the
gold.
tower.
Great, so when are we going to the tower? I'll go. Do you want me to go? Yeah, I'll go.
You're about 30 feet from the tower's door.
We'll all go.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, but I'll go first.
Yeah, for sure.
While
So brave.
everyone's doing that, Emilia's just going to sort of sitting down away from the group, and she's going to use Cure Wounds on herself.
Okay.
That would
9 points of healing.
be sweet.
Yeah, you would be able to heal yourself because your heals are from natural. So as you approach the tower, this is what you see on the door as you get close to the door. Bring that up a little closer.
Oh, that is a beautiful piece of art. This must be a rich person's tower, Mr. Adok.
I will give you this image in the Skype very shortly.
Yeah, this doesn't remind me of any like magical symbols, or maybe it is magical. I don't know. Fibble, do you know what these are?
Can I determine what they are?
Give me 1 second. I will.
You don't have to determine. It's like the numbers on a letterbox, right? It's like this is mill number, whatever those. It's in a different language. It's just a beautiful piece of art. I appreciate.
Okay. How's this? We'll all stand back, and you fuck around with the little circly thing.
That's in the Skype, guys.
Look at the people on it. I think it's a pattern we are maybe supposed to do.
I mean, that's not people. That's
The little people. Those
Yeah, they
stick
look like
people.
little Carnoses. There you go, Carnos. Just follow those symbols. Everything will be okay.
So the
Maybe-
tower door is made of iron with no visible handles or hinges. In the middle of the door is a large embossed symbol. It connects a series of lines with 8 stick figures set around it. Carved into the lintel above the door is the word Kazan.
Maybe we are supposed to follow where the lines go, and then we are supposed to say the word or something. But which one is first?
all right, mate. Yeah, but I mean, maybe we could like trace the lines on the door. But you know what? We haven't even seen if it's unlocked yet. Maybe it's just unlocked. Carnos, you could just open it. Go on.
Oh, I mean, maybe I should knock the knocker, right? Because it was not nice to just open someone's house and go in. We don't know who lives here. There could be the wine people, and they might be prepping wine. And if we could ruin the wine, I don't want like ruining good alcohol.
I feel like it's a trap.
I will knock the knocker. How's that? And Carlos reaches forward and knock, knock, knock.
As it does, I'd like to step back.
I would also step back.
And I'm stepping
As
back
you reach out and grab the knocker and knock, how far are you stepping back? So I'm clear.
A full 25 feet.
How far are you stepping back? Worst question ever.
I just step back 5 or 10.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
just
about
like
10,
5 to-
about 5-10 feet.
Yeah.
I would assume so. I would assume everyone would sort of step back about 5-10 feet. So Emilia is still healing back on the road. Yeah, well, not on the road. You'd be back. You're back on the road. You wouldn't be able to see your friends.
Oh no, that was a joke. She's further back.
You would be further back. She's sort of
She's in view.
come back to heal herself. So I need everybody except for Emilia to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Are they near? If you're near me,
Yeah,
5 plus 5 to you.
that would be.
Is that
me,
only in
but
combat or is that all the time?
It's all the time, or you? Same as
The
Ian's.
aura.
Okay.
So, but everyone except for Karnos would get that. But Karnos is not, would be outside that 10. Well, if you only step back 5 foot, would say yes. But if at 10 foot, would probably just on the outside. So your choice.
With the +5.
Yes.
Yeah, that's 31 for me.
Was it a dick save to you?
Yes, dex saves.
Well, I got a nat 1.
I got a
+5.
Who's wearing metal armor in the group, by the way? That'd be
That's a good
Karnos,
question.
Fibblestib, and Zedrill. So your rolls would be at disadvantage.
Excellent.
That one for 6 plus 5. It's 11. But yeah.
Yes, that'd be a failure.
14 is my lowest.
Fibblestib, you still succeed with a 15. Karnos, if your 14 is your lowest,
Yeah.
you would also be a
It
failure.
would actually be a 19 because my lower number was 14.
Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. So let's see what damage you guys take here. As you reach out, Karnos, and grab the handle and knock once, knock twice, you all hear the first thing you probably notice is Karnos, your hair starts to raise up as a static charge starts to build. anyone within, pretty much all of you would start, all the hairs on your arms and neck and your hair starts to bristle with static electricity. And then you hear the crackling of electricity from inside the tower surging aroundwards, and then all of a sudden a burst of static energy is released from the tower. You all take 22 points of lightning damage, half as much as you saved. Unfortunately for those wearing metal armor, it would be 33 points of lightning damage.
Half did we save?
Half you save, yep.
So what was the damage?
22 for those without. So half of that would be 11 for those that saved. For those with metal armor, 33. Half of you saved.
Oh, just thought. Carlos lets go of the hand and goes, okay, so that was not very nice.
Zedrill screams in pain, but I'm still here. So.
And the lightning is persisting too. It is crackling 10 feet out from this tower. So to get out of it, you would all back up instantly, I would imagine anyway.
Yeah.
And the lightning is the static charge is just circling the tower and crackling, and it's hitting the ground about 10 feet out from the tower. And this lasts for about 10 minutes before it eventually subsides.
See, Karnos, next time when we say just do the symbols, do the damn symbols.
Adolf actually, he did said just go ahead and knock then. I'm sure that's what he said.
Everything inside me hurts a lot.
Since when have you been listening to Adok, Carlos?
Well, he's actually quite knowledgeable. But did I mention it? I am in. God damn! I need to sit down. I am in pain. I feel like a lot of. I mean, I feel like I've been struck by lightning, which I kind of guess we probably have. And Carlos sits down, actually takes two just reasonable sips of one each side, one flask than the other, and it's, that did not help.
Emilia, you would have caught the full brunt of this from your position. You would have seen the lightning just arc out and literally arc between them all as it just expelled from the tower. You would have seen the blue and sort of white energy arc between Zedrill, Fibblesib, and Karnos specifically, and probably arc back through them a couple of times. And the sound would have been loud. For you guys, would have been a very loud sizzling and like popping and crackling sounds as the electrical energy just surges through everything around you.
Are they still within that zone?
They've moved out of the 10 feet. So they're in front of the tower, but they've moved away from the energy. And then, like I say, 10 minutes it lasts, and then it slowly dissipates.
Emily is going to sort of rush over and go, what the hell was that?
I do believe the person who made this knocker did not want people to knock.
Night worker. Alright.
Strange brewing technique, I guess. Electronically charged wine. Zedrill, have you ever heard of that before? Ow, my knees.
I can't feel my face.
It's still there.
Is it? I
would imagine Karnos, Fibble, and Zedrill would all be a little scorched as well. Probably burn marks up the sides of your neck and face, hands. Definitely knees.
Actually, Fibble's taking it really well, but his hair's actually gone down.
So Fibble's got hat hair right now for some strange reason.
Would the scorch marks be obvious?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's plain to see that they've all taken some pretty reasonable damage.
Emily is going to break out a water flask and use shape water and move it on, basically try to cool off the wounds.
No worries.
On everyone, including Adok.
Adok would like to move away from the water and cast Cure Wounds on himself.
No worries.
Ow, 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 my My hand is where it hurts the most, to be honest. Ow. Is the lightning still going?
Yeah, it runs for about 10 minutes and then stops.
When it stops, Carlos sort of brushes himself off and stands up and goes, "Oh, my aching hip. That is horrible. Well, should I knock again and see if they heard?"
No.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
yes, Carlos. And this time I'm standing 30 feet away.
It's obviously a diagram of what to do, maybe. We need to do the moves. Where's the bard? Maybe he's better at moves than us, probably. So you can dance to the lines.
Oh, yeah. And he's got 9 lives, right? Adolf, you got 9 lives.
That's a cat, and I think Adolf's probably gone through all these 9 lives anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, look, I'm just getting sensation back in the tips of my fingers. And I'm not a bard.
And
I don't...
Why were you touching your toes? Your toe... Did your brain get...
Yeah, I think it got fried a little.
Yeah. Doesn't cope with electricity too much. But, okay, now. Dance, full dance.
Fiffle, you looking all right? Your hair seems a bit...
It'll fix itself. It always does.
What are we doing? What? Wait,
go up to the door and do the dance moves.
Maybe you should, Feeble.
I can't perform for shit.
What are we dancing for? Like, what? I don't...
You see the little stick people on the pattern? You just follow the lines and do the little arm raises things, maybe.
How does he know where to start and where to finish?
Well, he's only got 2 ways, you know. It's arms down and then go that way, or arms up and go that way. And if he gets electrocuted, we all pump a little bit of health into him again. You can only go 2 ways. It's 50-50.
Does the piece of art turn sideways to open the door? How does it know you've danced?
Hey?
Don't know. Tiny, whiny, stuffy.
Maybe we have to say the word first.
I am going to stand back because that hurt a lot. Carlos goes like 30 feet away from the door area.
So you're not going to knock again?
Well, I considered it, but then you all stood back, so I figured that was the wrong thing to do.
You know, like, we've all been saying that Emilia needs to gain the trust back. How about if anyone gets electrocuted, it's her. She should do whatever it is you guys want to do.
Well, who's the most hurt, and I'll heal that person. And since you want the gold, why don't you go do it? So seriously, who is the most hurt person?
Zedrill, what have you got?
Roll a medicine check.
8.
That's a good point, yeah.
So I know Scathesis was pretty hurt before.
Yeah, but roll a medicine check to determine who you think is the most hurt.
What am I rolling?
Medicine. And your skills, it's all alphabetical order. So.
14.
It's still daytime, so it'd be 14. You would probably determine... Yeah, you'd be able to determine who is the most hurt. So who is the least amount of hit points right now?
I think it's Zedrill.
I have 8.
It'd definitely be Zedrill. She'd be looking pretty worse for wear right now.
But
yeah, I'm down to 15.
Yeah.
But I can touch myself. So you can just... I didn't mean it that way.
In the privacy of your own home.
Oh, God. So get...
It breaks out a video camera.
Probably get one of the guys, and I will take care of my own.
Carlos stretches his fingers forward in front of himself like this, and click, 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 and he will use his second wind and gain some HP.
Roll your second wind.
1d10 plus 6, here we go.
So we got Scathesis on 15.
Stupid.
And what is your hit points at, Carnos?
I'm at 19, but I
19.
just gave myself 7 more, so.
So you're at 26. Philston, what are you at?
I just did a cure wounds on myself,
Okay.
so I'm at 4, so I'm good.
So
Okay.
You want me to give?
Emily is going to go to Scathis and use Cure Wounds on him.
okay, roll your cure wounds. Alright, Scathis is the only one that can't heal himself. So,
Really?
6.
Maybe if we take an hour, I can bandage myself up a bit and put some healing salve on, and maybe you guys can do the same.
Do you really need healing, or is you just shitting me?
I am, and you'd be able to tell by looking at him. There's the chainmail over top of his leather. There's parts where the chain touches his skin, and it is quite blackened and scarred, especially where his hand was on the door knocker. I'd imagine there's a big searing burn through his hand.
I would say
While I'm
Carnos's left
while I'm
hand,
examining-
whichever he did, would be blackened and very charred, the entire hand.
Yeah. While I'm examining his hand, I cast Cure Wounds. He receives 7 hit points.
Thank you very
And I'm going to healing hands on Kanos for 6, and I'm going to lay on hands myself. So, which is 2 different things, but
No worries.
Carnos
It's all out of
starts-
combat, so it's all.
Yeah, kind of starts feeling a lot better, and he says, "Oh my goodness, you people are, all of you are strangely magical. I do not have this ability."
Yes. Now get up there and dance.
Okay, I shall. You tell me what to do, and I shall do it.
Wait, you can follow lines, right? So it shows you like your arms down and then it goes that way, or it's the arms up and it goes that way. Just follow the thingy.
Okay.
Got an idea.
What's your idea, Adolf?
Adolf's going to pull out the bear that he's got.
Yep.
And then he's going to say, Emilia, do you reckon that you could maybe drench this with water and then cast shape water to make the individual bits of the bear move as we step back from this thing? So that way the bear's dancing and no one gets killed.
But what if it's detecting life and it's actually detecting the life form being in that positions?
well, we'll find out, won't we?
Guess yeah. If she can make the bear dance, she can make the bear open the door, and if it doesn't open, we know that failed, right? And we wait for however long it takes for the lightning to. That's a ad hoc. That is probably the most brilliant thing I've heard come out of your mouth in a long time. Actually, just earlier you were talking about how water was made. I don't understand a word of that, but nonetheless.
Right. Thanks. So
I probably could do that. I just don't know how capable I am.
Just say that because say that word before and after just to be sure. We don't know.
I have faith in you, Emilia. You have shaped water and shaped dirt better than any dirt shaper or water shaper I have ever seen.
Well, there was this guy named Ang. He used to do a really good job at it too.
Evil.
Damn it,
Ah,
you beat me to it. That was my lead up, Jake.
Oh, wow. So what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, I guess we could try that. I'm just wondering if it's looking at somebody in front of the door, then the bear is going to be what, this far off the ground? I'm just hoping that it'll be able to be seen. I mean, yeah, I could try that.
Are you going to dunk the bear in the lake and get it wet?
it doesn't hurt to try.
Whereabouts are you
Yeah.
placing the
It is-
bear?
Much.
Um,
I'm just going to walk up and place the bear a couple of feet away from the door.
I mean, and in any case, if it doesn't work, I shall do it.
so yeah, Emily will go to the lake, take a ball of water out of the lake,
Oh, he's already drenched the bear. The bear's
Oh,
wet
he's already drenched the bear?
Yep.
Okay.
While they're all doing that, I'd like to go investigate that carriage or whatever it was.
Yeah, we'll get to you. Nosy monk. What specifically are you looking for at the carriage, though?
To see if I can see any resemblance for the markings on the door on the carriage.
Okay. So just roll your investigation and hold that thought. So, bear drenched sitting in front of the door. Where do you start? You're muted, mate.
Emily is going to move away from the bear so that she's out of what the range was before.
Yep.
And then she's going to start from the top left.
Top left, so the arms up first.
Hands up.
So you move the bear to the arms up position.
Yep.
And what do you do next? Nothing happens at this point, so...
She'll use shape water to drop its left hand downwards.
Moving to the bottom line to
Yep,
arm
follow
up
the
and arm
lines.
down. Yep.
And then arms straight out, going straight to the top.
Okay, and then where from there?
Across to 9 o'clock.
Yep.
And across to 4 o'clock.
Roger.
Up to 2.
Yep.
Down to whatever, 7 or 8 or 7:30.
Yeah, I know where you're at. Back across to 3.
Across to 3.
As you all sit there and watch as Emilia, you see her concentrating and moving her hands, moving the water in the way that she does. The bear standing there starts doing the whole YMCA thing, and once you reach the final position on the dial there, once again hear the crackling sound of electricity, and then after about 2 or 3 seconds the static charge releases once again and crackles around the exterior of the tower. The bear is obliterated as it is soaked in water, and you watch the lightning strikes this little stuffed bear, and it just poof, and a poof of fluff and fur as the bear explodes from the lightning charge released.
Before it goes off, I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh my god!
And for the next 10 minutes, the static charge is released from the tower once again.
You just hear Addox yell out, "Not Mr. Sticks!"
Does anyone, do we see what went wrong there? Do you think we know? Because Carlos is sitting down on the ground undoing the side straps of the chain because it buckles up both sides.
Yeah.
I was going to take this off and do
I
that, but...
I think we needed to go the other way.
Well, there's technically 3 other ways, because if it's a mirror image, it could be the opposite.
Or I could needed a human, the soul.
Well, that's me out then.
And we forgot to say the words, maybe.
Or maybe it needs 2 people. No, look at it. If you look at the start, it looks like it's got a line from one starting point and the other at the other starting point.
So while you guys are discussing this, Scathesis was sort of slinked away to have a look at the carriage. Investigating the door, you're looking for similarities to the door on the tower. As you investigate the door you see the large lock. It's a very, very sturdy lock, from what you can tell. But there's no similarities to the door of the tower versus the door of the carriage.
Cool.
Well, I guess I could try it with Feeble, maybe.
Don't know. I feel like maybe, and Carlos is at this point, I imagine, getting close to getting his chainmail off. He's unbuckled his everything he can, and he's just because he's wearing like a leather shirt underneath. But yeah.
It takes about 5 or 10 minutes to remove armor. So.
He says, Adok, can you hold this for me?
Luck for Karnos too, by the way.
Oh, thank goodness. I don't know if that's going to help us in this situation.
Adok at this point is trying to gather whatever remains are of the teddy.
We can rebuild him.
There's not a lot to pick up. It's just all fur and fluff. There's not a whole lot of anything that really resembles a teddy bear anymore, unfortunately. think of like a duck being hit with a shotgun at close range. It was just a and it was gone.
Adok, is that an eye over there? I think that might be an eye. No, it's just a pebble.
People say you can fix it. I have an idea. Just say you can fix it, okay?
Yeah, we can fix it. We can make him stronger.
Yeah. Right, it's good. What'd you say, Carlos? What?
Sorry, I've got my gear off. As soon as this lightning stops again, I can give it a go if you would like.
Before you do that, Carlos, can I try something else?
Absolutely, be my guest.
Was what I did previously with making the angel statue out of dirt. I could try and make one of those again, and maybe if I follow the pattern in the other direction, maybe it will see it and not blow up. I mean, if I followed the line the other direction.
Yeah, and say, Zedrill, you want to say some words or something, did you say?
But that isn't those words by the... I forgot what it was, because I keep thinking Kazam.
Yeah, Kazan was the name. It looks like a name. The word Kazan is etched into the door frame above the door.
Maybe it activates it or deactivates it. You never know.
So when the lightning stops, Emily will go over and sort of craft a makeshift human out of dirt, as she did previously.
It's going to take a little bit of time if you're wanting to make a full-size human. So you can definitely take time to do it. You can definitely do it. We've established that, but it will take a little bit of time.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what the party wants.
I would say it would take about an hour or so to complete. By this time, you guys would all notice by now that the day is definitely drawing in. It's not getting dark yet, but you probably know that it's not going to be far long. Actually, Zedrill, you would know because of your shield. The sun is definitely moving towards its latter part of the day, so the sunset is rapidly closing.
Could we use that hour as a short rest, DM?
Everyone except for Emilia would be able to. He would be working if that was what you guys want to do.
Carlos would sit and let her work.
Yeah, sweet. I can do that if you want.
Is that what you're going to do, guys?
That's what you guys want to do?
Adult is going to have, with all the teddy bits, just repeatedly try and cast mending on the pile of stuff.
Unfortunately, I don't think it would. You probably get a leg maybe back together with the parts you have, maybe an ear, but yeah, not much. It's pretty much beyond repair, unfortunately.
Great, actually, that's good. If I get whatever body part I get, I'm just gonna take out a bit of cloth or string from my clothing and make it into a necklace, like a souvenir.
No worries. So, which
tie it around
the
my
ear or the leg? Your choice.
I'll take a leg.
Okay. You have a teddy bear's leg now strung around your neck. Remnants of Mr. Sticks.
During this time, Carlos sitting down resting. He's opened his pack and he's just applying some salve and some bandaging where he can.
So those of you that are taking a long rest while Emilia works, use hit die to recover any hit points.
Done.
And obviously those that do benefit anything from a short rest get those benefits as well. So after an hour, you complete this figure, and it looks reasonable. It's nothing flash. Definitely, it resembles a human form. It's very basic, but it definitely resembles a human. Arms, legs, waist, shoulders. But it's a pretty good likeness.
All right, so I'll follow the path the opposite way to how I did it before.
Yep.
Do you think that when I should, I'm talking to the group here, do you think that when I'm done I should call out the name Kazar?
Yes.
It can't hurt. Yeah.
Kazar. Yes. Let's make sure it's Kazar.
Alright. Here we go.
So as you follow the pattern, starting from the right hand side this time.
Yep, starting at 3 o'clock.
You move around the pattern, moving your earthen effigies arms into the required shapes, following the pattern on the door. You reach the final pattern, your effigies hands straight up in the air.
Then Emilia will call out commandingly, Kazan!
As you do so, you wait 10-15 seconds, nothing happens. 20 seconds. Then Emilia, as you are standing probably where you would be, what's the range on your spell? You would have been outside the 10 feet at least, I would imagine.
30-foot range. So
okay, so you're at max 30-foot range. Is everyone else at max range as well? Like hanging around Emilia or closer? Just give me an idea of where you guys would have been sitting.
Carnos about 20 foot away.
About 20?
With Carnos.
Okay.
Yep. With Adok trying to make his arm.
With
okay.
Carnos.
So Zedrill, you pretty much you guys are grouped up, taking your short rest. So Emilia is standing probably the furthest away doing her casting. Calls out Kazan. After about 30 seconds, you hear that familiar building of a static charge from within the tower once again. As it releases this time, however, it is not just the basic lightning that arcs from the tower. It is a wave of energy exploding outwards from the tower. I need everyone in the group sitting on the ground to make a dexterity saving throw, please. We'll get you +5 because of Zedrill's proximity. You need to beat 15.
Yes.
Nope.
16.
16.
So those of you that are 15 or higher, you will take 15 or higher. So you'll take 22 points of bludgeoning damage as the tower explodes outwards,
Whoa.
sending debris and rubble out in all directions.
So that's everyone, I'm assuming.
Not you. You were outside of this range. Everyone that is at the max range was 20 feet. You guys were right on the edge of this, so you will take the damage, unfortunately.
Oh, so they're closer to the tower than me then?
Yeah.
Correct.
I would have thought they'd be further away from the tower.
They said they were 20 feet. So,
Carnos is right in between. So
You guys were saying 20 feet from bloody.
I thought they meant 20 feet further away from the tower than me.
those that fail the DC 15 will take 44 points of bludgeoning damage as the debris rains down from the tower. The tower itself starts to collapse in on itself from the top down as the debris is scattered out around the tower. The collapse is catastrophic. Adok, sitting next to you, Fibblesib, you watch as a large chunk of debris strikes Adok square in the face, skittling him head over heels backwards a couple of times, and he lays there unmoving and seemingly unconscious.
Zedrill's down.
Zedrill is also rendered unconscious as the debris strikes her in the chest plate. Loud clanging of rock on steel as she struck, and she is also laying unmoving.
Karnos is lying on his back,
What?
breathing heavily.
While this is happening, I get up and start trying to move people out of the danger area.
You pretty much, the explosion, it's almost instantaneous, so there's no continuing falling debris. So you can still move people, which is easy enough to do.
Yeah, move them into more comfortable positions and stuff.
I got Zedrill cast Cure Wounds for 9 points on her, and Adok gets 6 points of Cure Wounds on him.
No worries.
Is Karnos down or just...
Karnos is not down, but he is very, very damaged from whatever flew out. I would say...
Probably shrapnels of wood and bits and pieces. Yeah, he would have been impaled.
I've got a lot of bruises, blood, and scarring.
Because he did not have his armor on either, so...
Nope.
So I probably should have had you making your roll at disadvantage without your armor.
Fail miserably anyway.
Yeah, I dragged Karnos over to where the others are as well.
Okay, so the heals go out. Zedrill and Adok, you both come back to consciousness with a start. In pain, you've been struck by heavy chunks of concrete from this tower. But the tower now lies before you in ruins.
Do I see anyone unconscious?
As you look around, everyone seems to be conscious. You and Adok were the only ones that were unconscious for a short time. But as you come to, everyone else is hurt, but awake.
I think we need a long rest. Probably. Good idea.
I'll put some salve and some bandages on. Karnos holds up his arms and they're just dripping with blood. And he's like,
Karnos looks like a porcupine right now. He is splintered with wood and has been peppered with rocks.
It stopped me from dying, I think. And he just drops back down to the ground.
As Adult is lying on the ground, he's going to touch himself and for second level cast Cure Wounds.
All this touching, guys, it's getting pretty graphic up in here. Eh?
I just want to touch myself.
So,
Emilia sort of looks at the tower, what
points.
was the tower,
Yep.
then looks at the group, and then looks back at what was the tower and is like, oops. She runs over to the group to try help heal.
So yes. So what are we doing, guys? Apart from trying to recoup from that.
I'm thinking we should rest here for the night. It's getting late. We're in a lot of pain.
Out in the open, Karnos just puts his thumb up really at it and gives us. On the bright side, the tower is open.
Tower is a pile of rubble.
Yep, he knows that.
Adok is going to crawl over to Karnos, touch him, and cast Cure Wounds on a first level.
Where is Adok going to touch him?
Wherever he can, whatever's going to make him feel the best. And he gets 4 points of healing.
Could I get everyone to roll a perception check just quickly for me, please?
Would I be at disadvantage? I'm lying down facing the sky.
Yeah. If you think that you would be at disadvantage, yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely not being very perceptive.
DM some inspiration if you don't already have.
Thanks.
Is it evening yet?
Not
one.
quite. Not quite. So you still be at your minus at this.
Natural fucking one.
Natural one. Perfect disadvantage roll. Carnos is in extreme pain. He's just lying there. He's not even hearing or seeing anything going on around him right now.
I can't feel my legs or my arms.
Get cure wounds on Carnos for whatever that's gonna be. That's my last one. 7 and no 12, and then I'm going to crawl my way towards the tower to see if there was anything worth it in here.
Sorry, what was that? I was sidetracked.
I was gonna crawl towards the tower to see if there was anything worthwhile that we've
pretty much looking at the tower, it is just the whole. It looked like it was about 80 feet tall, so probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 floors high, and the whole thing has just collapsed in on itself and exploded outwards. So, just looking at it, I mean, you probably don't have a lot of understanding of masonry and how that works, but looking at the height of the tower and now where it sits, probably not much left intact under that rubble. Definitely dig through it if you had the time to have a look, but it would definitely take time. But at this point, it's just a big pile of rubble and dust.
What was the perception roll for?
So,
Okay.
what was that, Emilia? Sorry?
What was the perception roll for?
What did everyone get? 16, a 13, natural 1 from Carnos, 12, Zedrill,
Mine will be a 12 as well.
12 from you.
And a 12 from me.
Carnos probably about the only one that does not, or doesn't hear this first and then see it. From behind you, back down across the grass eddy, leading back towards the dirt road, behind you, you hear a sly chuckle. Nothing like, not huge laughter, but just a and a from behind you. As you turn to see where this clapping is coming from, standing 100 feet from you, down this way, make out the shape of Strahd von Scathesis, grinning rather arrogantly your direction, slowly clapping. This simply says, "Well done." Grinning once again, and within a split second, the mist just whips around him and then dissipates and he's gone.
Zedrill starts to say, "So what was the cut off?" He fucked off. All right.
Carnos puts his arm up and goes, online on the groundstone, he's like, "I'll be right with you, Mr. Strahd."
And it's at that moment you hear the baying of maybe, sounds like a dozen or more wolves close by.
Oh, Carnos sits bolt upright and grabs his chainmail and starts to buckle it back on.
And I think that's where we'll call tonight's session, guys. I think that's a good place to call it. We're getting close to the end, so we'll call it there. Well done, ladies and gentlemen, on blowing up a tower. But fun session nonetheless.
At least we haven't burnt down a village yet.
Yet, being the operative word. I mean, you burnt down a windmill, to be fair. Twice. Exactly, twice. Chat, thank you for hanging out with us once again this evening. We are going to do our usual and go through some moments from tonight's stream. We'll also we'll call from the chat as well. So chat, if you've got any moments that stand out for you, at Evildoer TV in the chat, and we will read them out. when we get through the cast. So any moments that stood out for you at Evildoer TV in the chat, and I'll read them out. But we'll start with Scathesis tonight. You were at the top of my video list right there. So Scathesis, a moment that stands out from Scathesis as a character or you as a player, and then something from someone else, please.
For me, yeah, I can't really put anything on what I did that was memorable, or I think more giving Adak more shit.
Yeah, that seems to be a regular occurrence for you guys.
Yeah. Other players, I'd have to go Fibble and Adak. Just start talking about gun modifications and not worrying about the rest of the group. And Zedrill with surprised looks on her face when things get said and all that. And a little bit off topic here, I touched myself.
That's not really off topic. I mean, that's been a moment from a couple of characters tonight, in fact.
A little bit.
So, Zedrill, same for you, please.
I like casting heroism. It's fun. I like
that. Is a cool spell. I think it's a really underutilized spell. I've not really seen many people use it.
It's cute. And of course, I like the bear stuff, and I like the interactions between Drax and the sarcasm between Drax and the Emilia and the party members is really funny. Oh, and the chauvinistic comment about, especially from women. Yeah.
This is Carnos. Is Fibblestip?
Apart from myself, none really. I just had a normal night, but it was funny watching Adak and Emilia bitch fighting as they have been for the last couple of episodes, and so yeah, okay, it's gonna be gone those days again.
I can point out a Fibble moment, which I think is just quintessential Fibble. Just the simplicity of your character, the nuances, the simple things that he says at certain moments is just that is Fibblestip.
Yeah.
And
sorry, got to interrupt there. With what Evildoer just said, yeah, that just the moving, wanting to move, and
I want my rock.
Yeah, he's very focused.
I want to make my servant so that I can do some more interesting things.
Which is cool. Yeah. I mean, that's Fibblestip. He's impatient. He wants to do stuff. He just wants to keep moving and do things.
He wants to do his tinkering, but he can't do his tinkering like he normally would. So you're all slowing him down. Hurry the fuck up.
Emilia.
As for myself, say the whole moving of dirt, taking it out of the hole and dropping on it.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
have planned to do that. And then with the whole Carlos rising out of the hole on my dirt.
that was amazing.
Just brilliant. As for other people, just when Fibblestip's hair went flat, that cracked me up. Just put that one in there. Adak running for the trees was pretty funny. Evil's imitation of the ghouls screaming. That was great. I like that.
It was a little creepy, but it works.
Yeah. And Zedrill saying, "You're acting like a dwarf, Fibble. Fibble, you're acting like a dwarf."
Fibble's reaction to that was probably classic too. It was like, yeah, I can see that. Right. Adak the Grey.
Well, I really loved when it was a combination of Emilia as the whole Carlos jumping in, like rising up, like as if they're in a concert or something, and then Phil's just finishing off by casting like a fireball in the grease around the hole. That was just a really cool moment. It's just, I was like, hell yeah, that's fucking awesome.
That would have been a
That's
very
D&D.
rock and roll moment. I mean, Carlos
Yeah.
rising out of a flaming pit. I mean,
The
come
other
on.
thing we needed to finish it off was someone cast fog cloud for like the mist to roll out of somewhere. So
Good work. Marine Layer was a good one for that.
All in due time.
Yeah, and I don't really know. I think I'm really happy that I found a flute. So that
Oh, you got to
use
record it.
for
Awesome.
Bardic stuff. Yeah, recorder for Bardic stuff and
That
play
is
it
cool.
terribly because I can't play this. So
That's awesome. That makes it even better.
It's actually real easy to teach yourself.
Yeah.
At the same time, neither can Adok. So
Exactly. So it'll work.
you're set.
if I improve my playing, so does Adok. There you go. It
Well,
lives up and
exactly.
downs.
There you go then. And Carnos.
Oh man, you guys have covered a lot tonight. It's good. For Carnos, for myself, man, like I say, I haven't played a fighter a hell of a lot, and the more I'm playing him, the more little avenues I find that people don't really use a lot, and running at the hole, jumping in and carving that dude. It didn't quite go how I expected, but it was just made better. Everything sort of just worked together, so that was really fun. My favorite bit is actually a DM moment. That isn't for me. You said it while I was thinking it. Basically, so you're like, right, so you fill this teddy bear with water and you make it start YMCAing. and
Well,
in my head, I
essentially
was
that's what it is, wasn't it?
Yeah, in my head I was like, they're doing the YMCA on this fucking tablet, but it's not something Carnos would have said, so he did not say it. And then your comment was, and poof, the beer. The beer goes poof. So yeah, it's actually really good, eh? So,
well, I was thinking of a beer soaked with water, struck by lightning. What's going to happen? Come on.
It was pretty awesome. And I really just loved how the tower just came down, done and dusted. So that's me.
That moment, what was going through my head at that moment was a scene from X-Men when Storm is basically Toad. What happens to toads when they're struck by lightning? Same thing as everything else. And it was what was going through my mind. So for me, again, this is not really a first-time DM issue for me now. I mean, I've run the homebrew campaign, now doing this Curse of Strahd. This is the first time I've DM'd Curse of Strahd. I love the campaign, so just being able to describe this world, I think I'm reasonably well with the descriptions of where you are, what you're doing, obviously creatures that you're going to encounter. Certain noises of these creatures I'm going to be able to do because I'm an absolute horror freak, so do come a little bit naturally to me. As far as the players are concerned, I think everyone did exceptionally well tonight with the role play. Emilia with the uses of her shape water and mold earth are always interesting and fun and funny. Just the divine smite and just the paladin in the group. I mean, the ability to pump that much damage into a single attack is amazing. And I think the way you guys all portray your characters is touch myself moments, definitely. It's happening a lot. Zedrill and Adok tonight are both guilty of touching themselves. But there is the comment that Zedrill made about the carriage when they were talking about the conjuration magic, and Bible says it was brought here from somewhere else. It's like, kind of thing, and it was like it's dirty or whatever. And Zedrill turns around and says, well, I can see that it's got mud on it. It was just the frankness of the comment was perfect. And just to bring a couple of messages from the chat here, Drax popped in, Evildoer, with your DM descriptions. My mate says, as a DM, you paint an awesome picture. A lot of streams, he's seen the DM is hard to follow, and as an observer who doesn't know the game. So that's awesome. Obviously, I'm doing something right. If someone who doesn't really follow the game able to follow what's happening. Scenes with the descriptions that not only I'm giving, but the descriptions you guys are giving what you're doing as well. We touched on it briefly last week where Kaunos was being very specific about attacks and where he was striking, and I think everybody sort of started to do that a little bit as well, give your attacks. So then if there is a death, then it makes a little bit easier to then describe ramifications of the attack, and that I think we're doing. But again, awesome night, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Chat, you guys rock. Hanging out with us for three something odd hours, playing some nerdy D&D. We had a couple of encounters tonight. We had a couple go down with unconsciousness, which was I think the first time. Is that the first time we've had someone become unconscious in a battle? Not, is it? The first time we've had multiple.
The guards, I think.
Yes, we had Adok unconscious during the guard fight at the prison, that's right. But we had multiple unconsciousness. Obviously right at the end with the exploding tower. But
I was close. If I hadn't have done that self-heal, I would have been dead.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you guys, essentially, over the course of 2 sessions, you've had 2 encounters, plus this mini encounter with the tower, which kind of turned into a damaging encounter anyway. So you had no rest for 2 encounters and this. Short rest to sort of build up a bit of hit points, obviously, before the tower exploded. But yeah, you've now put yourself in a position where you now have to camp out at night in Barovia, outside of city walls. So we will see what happens next session. Our heroes, as they spend their first night outside of safe city walls in the land of Barovia. Anywho, we should probably raid as we normally do on a Wednesday after the D&D. If you do have someone that you would like us to raid, speak up so we know, so we can go pay someone a visit. Otherwise, we'll just randomly grab someone from the D&D channels. What have we got here? We've got a few on tonight. We've got Waterdeep, episode 7, Waterdeep High Sheriff Dayan. We rate him a lot lately. We have Roll20 campaign, Bacon No Pants. Okay. Caffeine Writer doing a Lizard Folk. Looks like a VTT thing. Any suggestions from you guys and players or chat on who we should raid? Or should we just stick with our old faithful Sheriff Dayan?
Yeah, Sheriff Dan seems pretty good. I don't have anybody online.
Yeah, no, I don't really have anyone on at the moment. Scourge is online. He's doing Escape from Tarkov. Tainted Filth is doing Valheim. I think we'll stick with Sheriff Dan. The Sheriff Dan will be our raidee this evening. Again, he is currently doing the Waterdeep Time Heist, episode 7. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure you are back here, well not here, on Friday, 5th of March, this coming Friday, 5:30 PM Australian, 7:30 PM New Zealand, on Yanti One's channel. We will be doing the Dragon of Icespire Peak module, where Yanti will be Dungeon Master for us. I will be playing. There'll be a number of people in the chat that will be playing also. Some you will recognise, some you will not. Actually, no, all you'll recognise. Actually, no. Mina and Grim are both playing in it, aren't they? Yanti. Yep. So yeah, there'll be a couple of faces you don't recognise, voices you may do, however. So make sure you check out Yanti One, make sure you hit her up with a follow. Be there on Friday for that campaign. Then on Sunday, we'll be starting the Sanctum mini campaign, which I will also be playing in. Yanti will also be DMing, but it'll be streamed on both channels. on Sunday night. Same usual time for that. So 7:30 New Zealand, 5:30 Australian. So with that, we're going to say adieu. And we are going to raid Sheriff Dan. Thank you so much, guys. Stay safe and take care. Bye.